Oh my god, you aren't just an old speed paint channel and can actually talk? Yep. Hello, Art World. That sounds like some kind of discount art supply store, but in the year of 2023, what better way to revive an old speed paint channel into one where I talk over? The art community. There's no denying the controversies and discourse happening in the art community recently. AI, big companies acting animated shows, the god awful dosage of remakes. Please stop, be gone, Frozen 2 and Toy Story number 29. And of course, me being an artist, I'm always encountering tweets about someone doing this or someone doing that. Today, however, we're taking a step back from the creators' controversies and instead appreciating the genres that so many creatives voluntarily do. Artists create engaging, thrilling, amazing stories for all types of genres, all often for free. But don't you know free stuff has to be perfect and original too nowadays? Yeah, no. Each genre is like a recipe book. Each page is food, and even though some pages might have the same ingredients, the final result is far from it. That's the same for indie projects. So, based on what I've seen, there's this double standard between indie creators and big corporations nowadays. Indie artists are expected to achieve god-like standards, as if Ceridwen has spiked your coffee with poetic inspiration, with none of the budget and working two jobs to stay afloat. While corporations can make the 90th Avengers movie and everyone's jumping with joy watching some slow-mo walking as dubstep orchestral music blows out your eardrums. Just because some plot points might correlate to another creator's world, that doesn't mean it's inherently going to be the same story. The Titan called Supernatural, for example, is littered with influences from the genre, evidently inspired by various sources, including classic horror films, urban legends, and folklore. It has the combination of The X-Files, Kolchak the Night Stalker, and The Twilight Zone. The show's central focus on two brothers hunting supernatural creatures was also inspired by the legend of the vanishing hitchhiker, which Kripke heard as a child growing up in Ohio. Additionally, it hasn't shied away from the fact it has drawn from various religious texts, such as the Bible and the Quran, to create the show's mythology surrounding demons and angels. Every story to exist has and will always include TV tropes. That's how genres will form. While we should be aware of the tropes to not make them too repetitive, they can also be randomized and thrown together to create unique stories within that genre. The mystery on a train trope could be combined with the femme fatale trope to create a story about a detective who meets a beautiful woman on a train, only to find out that she's the prime suspect in a murder case. The heist trope could be combined with the supernatural trope to create a story about a group of thieves who have to break into a haunted mansion to steal a valuable artifact. The coming of age trope could be combined with the post-apocalyptic trope to create a story about a group of teenagers who are forced to navigate a dangerous post-apocalyptic world in order to find their place in it. The forbidden romance trope could be combined with the time travel trope to create a story about a person who falls in love with someone from a different time period and must find a way to overcome the obstacles that stand in their way of their relationship. The alien invasion trope could be combined with the no detective trope to create a story about a private detective who is hired to investigate a series of murders that turn out to be linked to an alien invasion. Before the pantheon of gods of Greek and Roman mythology, ancient civilizations had their own interpretations of the stars in the sky. The Babylonians, for example, saw the constellations as representations of their gods and goddesses and used them to track the movements of the planet. The Greeks later adopted these constellations but gave them their own interpretations and mythological stories. This is where we see the origins of many famous constellations, such as Orion the Hunter and the Big Dipper. These stories were often used to explain natural phenomena and served as a way for the Greeks to connect with their gods and goddesses. So, while the constellations did exist before the pantheon gods, it was the Greeks who popularized them and gave them the stories that we know today. It's a fascinating example of how stories and mythology can evolve and adapt over time, and how different cultures can put their own unique spin on a shared concept. So, do not be discouraged. We've been referencing, taking and adapting folklore, mythology and other stories since the beginning of time. Just because your story is located in hell, don't look at those set in the same location with dread, but with enthusiasm, because you're going to create something unique and, most importantly, with your own voice. If you want to help indie creators out, there's a video I link in the description to Indie Animation Pitch Night 2023, where a lot of people have put their heart and soul into these projects. Chances are you'll see some similar themes between each pitch, but that shouldn't discourage you from enjoying them. Be excited that so many fun creations are being made by people who have such a huge love for their craft and really wish to input their own ideas and stories into the world, which is currently filled with deadpan remakes. I hope you've enjoyed this strange rant, and if you have any projects, feel free to list them in the comments below for people to check out. And if you have any other ideas for me to talk about in future, feel free to stick around and let me know. Art is calling, time to draw the line. Goodbye.